Draw out the external size of the mount that you want. For me, that is 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. I'm using a 1/2 inch MDF, but I suggest using plastic for an actual robot because MDF isn't very durable, and this is just for example. After you draw the block, use a bandsaw, jigsaw, or a handsaw to cut it out. Once you cut the block out, draw a diagonal line from each corner, where the cross will be the center of the block. Now take a ruler and measure out the notch. It should be about 1/4 inch. Once everything is drawn out, you can use a hole saw to cut out the hole for the motor. Or if the motor is small enough, you can use a drill bit. If you can't find the right size of hole saw or drill bit for your motor, pick the closest one that'll work. If it is a little bit smaller than the motor, but the motor will still fit, that'll work fine. But if the hole has to be bigger than the motor, you can add a little tape around the outside of the motor at the end, and it'll be big enough to fit. After the hole for the motor is drilled, cut out the notch. The best way to attach the mount is with screws, because it'll cause it to clamp around the motor. But you can also glue it to the base and use just one screw on the notch side to make it clamp around the motor. If you're going to attach the mount with screws that go all the way through and have a nut on the other side, then you'll need to drill holes in the mount. This is best done with a drill press, but if that isn't an option, then clamp the mount in a vise and drill the holes with a hand drill. If the mount has too big of a hole for the motor to fit, you can always wrap tape around it. Now, I drilled too big of a hole on purpose, although this would work if this is the only hole saw you had. As you can see, there's quite a bit of space. So I'm just going to take some electrical tape and wrap it around the motor. And that should be good enough. Now it's a much snugger fit, and the mount will clamp much better. It's a good idea, even if it's really close to being perfect size, to wrap a little tape around the motor, because electrical tape will give a nice grip. In fact, this is the actual motor mount I used for competition, and it was machined to be the right size, but there was enough room for a little tape, so I put some on there for extra grip.